We're live with the Roundabout Cast recording. Though, hold on, let me have the recording here.
10:41 to 10:43.
Yes. Oh God, I'm fucking everything up.
Haha.
Okay, we're good. It should be good. Joe's got a backup recording. OBS has been so challenging to use, like this entire year. Like 2022 is not the year of the Roundabout Cast. Let me tell you, because technology fails us at every turn. I'm joined here with my delightful co-host Joe and my posing co-host Tyler.
Yeah. I'm
on
the
a standing
delightful
desk
one.
today,
God.
so
I've
I don't know if you
considered-
can see our cameras, but our cameras are on, and I'm just hating my hair right now.
Yeah, all of our hairs are kind of in a bad state right now.
Yeah.
Um,
You would have thought this
But
was
okay.
2020 in the pandemic.
let's talk about the One Piece suit. First of all, my joke is, you know who really has the rubber fruit? Because what the hell is this? Why is she doing a freaking gum giant pistol to Niji?
Pudding
I mean,
punch.
He deserves it. TBF.
he does.
All right. So what happened in this chapter? I remember the last two chapters a lot, but this one is not fresh in my mind. You got Raizo still almost dying. I guess one thing worth noting here is Raizo brings up.
No, Raizo wins
something-
this fight. This is when he wins.
Yeah, but he's still.
Yeah.
But he brings up something weird, and I don't know if this is like sometimes Viz translates things literally, and it turns out weird. So I don't know if this is a translation issue. But how careless of me! The preparations were already complete. Preparations for what? I remember reading this and not being really sure what he's referring to. Is this something we don't know? Are the samurai up to something? Did they prepare something that we don't know about?
I bet this is not referring to the samurai. I bet this is referring to the spy master man. Like Raizo knows there's some contingency he would have in place, and he forgot to take care of that contingency, and so now like Orochi's gonna get away. That's what he thinks, like an escape pod kind of situation.
Interesting. You're with Sir Luffy. Huff, we must hurry because the preparation's already complete.
Yeah.
That is okay. I didn't even consider reading it that way. I guess that's one way it could make sense. I feel like Raizo's like, hey, take me to the preparations because what has Denjiro been up to for literally the last year? Like,
Trying to find his neck.
I mean, he's got a hella neck. It's just thick.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's over here like, who even is Denjiro? Because that's how long it's been since we've seen the man.
I thought that character died.
No, I mean, no
Maybe.
one dies.
I don't know.
I thought they were just out for the count.
You're thinking of Kanjiro or Shutamaru.
Denjiro was on the roof.
I'm thinking of shooting Maru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, yeah, actually, he's still dead, quote unquote, which is cool. Death hype. Kurosaki, I think, reveals herself this chapter, if I remember correctly, as well. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
She reveals herself as the daughter of Odin, and I think she's gonna kill Orochi here in a little bit. I mean, as much as someone could be killed in One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
I like the CP0 versus Izo standoff. We kind of started alluding to that last talk, and then it turned out into a whole bloody affair. Kiku's definitely. I mean, not Kiku. Sorry, this is Izo. Izo's definitely alive. This is him dying. But that's
I like the bullet trade with the sword stab or something.
No, that panel looks very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really like that one.
It's very yin and yang too, because Izo's a much darker killers on him, while the CP0 guy has a lot lighters, and they have that like white center or dark center in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I hate? These chapters made me realize something about these CP0 guys. They're not characters underneath those masks. Those masks are the characters. He will not know any... No, there are no characters.
Dude, I have so much respect for CP0, man. That guy...
Like, cool. I just hate how we've seen these guys for, 7, 8 years? And it's like, they've been wearing these goofy-ass mumbo-jumbo masks the whole time. And now, we're not gonna get this...
Is that
now
okay?
we're just...
I don't think you can say that, Tyler.
You can call them mumbo jumbo masks.
They look like the mask Mumbo Jumbo wears.
Who is Mumbo Jumbo?
Okay. He's talking about Banjo Kazooie character.
Banjo and Kazooie.
Ikabukum.
Ikambokums.
No, his name is Mumbo Jumbo.
Ikambokum. No.
Ikabukum.
They're wearing these gosh dang Ikambukum masks.
I think the point you're trying to get to is I don't think we're ever going to see their faces. They're
Yeah.
only their personalities a little bit, but that's one down, and we're gonna see another go down pretty soon. What else is happening? Hamlet's helping Usopp.
This was
this
also
is
the chapter where CP0 was given the order to eliminate Straw Hat Luffy.
Yeah, which feeds more into like, hey, the fruit we were talking about last chapter is actually Luffy's, which we might have to contend with and talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fight continues. Kaido is very upset that Big Mom lost the fight, which is really cool because you get a little bit of a flashback of when they met, and like it seems like he looks up to Big Mom in an interesting way because it always seems like she was his senpai in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Back when she was sexy.
Back when she, I mean, what do you mean? Back when?
I mean,
cool
this doesn't mean they didn't fuck. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing, right? Katakuri, Oven, and Daifuku's dad has still not been introduced, and they all look like Kaido in a weird way.
But it can't be Kaido because she's supposed to have already had kids at this point.
What do you mean?
Like, I think I saw a post somewhere saying that, like, if according to like this interaction, Lin should not have had any should have had like the kids just because of like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
She was a mom while she was in Rock's ship.
Yeah.
Then wouldn't she have been called Big Mom and not Lin?
No, she was mid mom at the point. She became Big Mom when she became like a
actual pirate.
Matriarch. Yeah. That makes sense.
Like it just was the age of how everything is because Kaido's 15 here, in this discussion, and how old are fucking?
Yeah, only 50. Yeah, okay. So hold on.
So how old is
Big Mom's like her late 60s, and here she looks like she's got like at least 7 years on Kaido. If he's 15, she's probably in her 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
How long ago was Rocks? When was the God Valley incident? Was that 20 years ago? No, that was Roger's death, so it was a little before then.
So Pero is 50 years old.
Okay, and Big Mom is
let's see.
Man, Perispero's a grown ass adult out here licking the shit.
This is gave birth. Let's see.
Spit it out.
Yeah, give me Big Mom's birth
I know.
certificates.
She started when she was 18.
Okay, so I mean, if she's
and
like
it started 50 years ago, so she's 68. Because Pero was the first one.
Right. So, and then Katakuri is like, isn't he like the 20th son though? So she's had some
Katakuri, I
kids
thought was like the third or fourth.
Maybe. Either way,
Yeah.
Joe will get back to us, and I'll post a comment on.
Yo, Gum Hydra.
Katakuri's 48, which means he was born 2 years after Pero.
Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, all right. I don't know if Big
Now
Mom
Kaido would have been 17 by then. If this is Lin 18,
is totally fair and fine. So maybe Big Mom hid it from Kaido. Maybe he doesn't know that he has a son out there.
Yeah,
3, in fact, alimony. So when Luffy's over here is like, I'm gonna use my final Gear 4. Who thought that it would actually work? I think when he said this line, I was like, oh, next chapter, this kid's about to get humbled.
yeah.
You don't just say this is my final attack this early. Like, we're not quite at that point yet, you know? And for the most...
I was just reading and didn't think anything else.
Yeah, that's what you do. Next episode, the victor needs no epitaph. Yep, there's still shit going on. This has been a good cover story. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Same.
So this is something that I found interesting with this chapter. We were talking about how these guys aren't characters, but I actually think this little exchange does a lot for Mister Hat. I hear some corners of the internet call him Dipper Scarfino. No, Dripper Scarfino because he's got drip.
Scarfino.
And now he's Ripper Scarfino because he's dead. So he says that like this is what my justice tells me to do, and that he says he's envious of that. And have I ever told you all the theory that people think that these CP0 agents are people that Big Mom, like she sold them off to the world government,
like Mother Caramel did it, not Big Mom.
Yeah, sorry, not Big Mom, Mother Caramel. Which if I don't know if the timeline adds up because some of those kids might have been at the day where Big Mom ate everyone. So either she didn't eat everyone, but I think she did, or they got sold off, or there's something else going on. But theoretically, for argument's sake, if they were people that were sold to the government to be CP agents, I could really understand like this idea that, oh, I don't get to have a sense of justice. I just kind of have to follow my orders.
Yeah.
And following his orders is what this man's gonna do. So,
oh boy, is he!
That aside, the choreography here is really dope. I love Luffy, Snake Man, and Bound Man rebounding punches.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been very cool visually. And here, Kaido brings up something that like he's bending the trajectory of his attacks. Given the nature of rubber, that's impossible. And it's like, okay. I've always thought this, but I just kind of chalked it up to like, I don't know, weird One Piece shit.
Yeah.
It's been annoying this arc, how Oda's explaining stuff that I had kind of like just explained as weird like One Piece bullshit, but apparently these things have explanations, which makes me question like, hey, remember when that snake lady in Boa's Island, one of her sisters, turned her hair into fire? Are we going to get back to that? Because there's still a lot of things I'd like explained if we're doing some explanation, sir. But I digress.
You know what my problem with this was? So he says, given the nature of rubber, that's impossible. So like, my problem is he says the nature of rubber, like they have gone around and extracted rubber to synthesize into things.
We have rubber in this world.
Yeah, they have tires.
But like, here's the thing. Has that happened since we started reading One Piece? Because Inaru didn't know what rubber was.
Well, Inaru lived on a fucking island in the sky.
Luffy was also not aware that like electricity.
Luffy's an idiot. Like
so. Luffy never really thought about it. He's just like, I'm gonna go punch this man. He didn't even really know what Inaru's power was until he got to the fight.
It's true.
Okay, I'm just like, I was like, oh, so people like that's always led me to believe that like rubber doesn't exist in this world other than Luffy.
The only people.
Why would they call him a rubber man if they don't know what rubber is?
I don't know. What are they making rubber out of in the One Piece world?
Not condoms.
Trees. Yeah. We're making them out of it's just that like sky people don't know what certain things that we synthesize in our world in the blue seas. And I've always liked that aspect of it, how like we just didn't know how to extract rubber here. They might not even have rubber trees, because I think rubber comes from a specific tree when made in that way. It's also weird though, right? Rubber is not a natural thing. And thinking about that has kind of changed my view. It's like, it's kind of obvious when you think about it.
But like, guns are a natural thing, swords are a natural thing, but like the arm fruit exists.
True. You know what? QED.
I've always thought that. Like, what if assuming devil fruits have been in the One Piece world since the beginning of time, which I don't think they have, but like assuming they were back in Unga Bunga caveman years. And someone eats a fruit, and it's like, I have the arm fruit. What the fuck is a gun? Like,
do you think back then, this is how the arm fruit hunted in the prehistoric times? Do you think it just turned into like clubs and axes? Like
maybe
it's maybe what the user can perceive as a weapon, because then it still kind of feels a little natural. But then
we're talking about Baby 5, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about Baby 5.
Baby 5's fruit has actually astounded me this entire, like, I haven't talked about it, but it's just like I can get away with maybe the iron and the cutting and that kind of stuff. But Baby 5 is like, I can make guns. I'm like, hold on. That's a manufacturer. Someone has to make that. That's not
she turns into a goddamn missile, I think, in the anime. So, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I like this idea of it's whatever person can conceive as a weapon. Notice she's not turning into, like, rail guns and laser guns, because that's not, like... That's not what a weapon is to her, you know? Mm-hmm. It is. That's what it is to Kid, though, because he's on another level.
Kid can make railguns.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I think Kid invented the railgun this arc.
He did.
In this world. He made it for the first time, which is fair. If Baby 5 saw that, maybe she could turn into a railgun. Regardless, there is another case worth mentioning, which is Katakuri. Mochi is not like a natural substance,
right?
But he's specifically a special paramecia.
Mm-hmm.
So, keeping that in mind, we might be going down the route of Luffy being a special paramecia.
Which is fun. Which makes sense because it's like...
that over mythical Zoan, Sengoku... Not Sengoku, Sun Wukong. I don't like that as much. But we'll get there when we get there. We still got... So, Kaido's got his new drunken forms. Stop. I like the flirty drunk. Just stop.
Stop it.
Kaido using future sight's pretty fucking hype, and then he just dragons his way through all the punches and takes a nice bite out of Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, like, it's funny because the last podcast I was like, man, here's why Big Mom gets to use fruits in her fight because she has cooler attacks. But then Oda's like, okay, sure, Kaido is just a brutish dragon, but I'm gonna make him do some cool shit. For example, the classic FromSoft dragon enemy style attack where he eats Luffy and then beams him from his mouth into the ground. I think this is maybe one of my favorite Kaido attacks he's done so far.
Classic FromSoft.
I mean, the ulcerated tree spirit has done this to me multiple times.
They do that.
I like that he shoots Luffy through the island, and then Luffy has to quickly transform into Bounce Man, which is a flying type, as we all know from Pirate Warriors.
As we know, yes. It's all coming together. That's also part of the lore. Luffy turns into Bounce Man, goes back. He hits him with the Over Kong gun. That's a new move. It's a very big Kong gun. And then, so this was one of my favorite chapters in all of Wano, if not my favorite. The next one's also a strong contender. But this last page is so good. Hold on, let me switch to it. It's almost the last page. So Luffy goes to attack Kaido. He gets Thunder Bagwad. Luffy is still good. He's keeping some air. I like this mechanic, though, of if Luffy's fighting in Gear 4, he can't, like, lose control of his air because then he goes into his Hoculus form, which for some reason that hasn't changed. Also, worth noting, Kaido looks different in these pages, and I don't know if this is Oda redesigning him or if this is his awakened form. Isn't it weird that the premier Zoan hasn't done, like, his awakening, which we've had Zoan awakenings before any other fruit. In Impel Down, there was awakened Zoans where they were, like, perpetually these big, bulky animals.
I thought Zoans, like, awakened states were their hybrid forms.
No. That's just their normal state, because, like, I think Monster Chopper, for example, he forced an awakening through medicine. At least that's kind of, like, it kind of fits with the story. We don't have a hard confirm on that. But in Impel Down, we got introduced to Zoan awakenings, but that was so before we even got, like, what awakenings really meant. So, like, particularly here, he's really big and bulky, kind of like they are, and you'll notice, like, his nose is round, and he looks like, and especially in this bloodthirsty panel, he looks distinctively bulkier and meaner. So I want to say this is like we're not making a big deal of it, but this is his awakened form. Like, it's not a big spectacle, but he can do it. Because, like, Zoan awakenings are just stat buffs. They don't give you new abilities. And I think this, like, so you don't need to make a big deal about it. But, man, Dripper Scarfino shows up, holds back Luffy, Kaido smacks him down, but the look on Kaido's face really sells the whole chapter for me.
Oh, he does? I've been wondering, like, what the fuck he did, because it just seemed like he just walked up to Luffy with Iron Body, just, like, spook him.
Yeah, that's all it looks like.
Let's go back a page, then, to kind of explain it. What happens is he latches onto Luffy's arm and holds him back so Luffy can't do, like, a clash.
Look at the middle left, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, this is why I'm glad we do these because it's easy to miss the stuff, especially if you don't like.
I thought
go
he
read
literally was
people
like
talk.
going to like. He just literally went up there to distract Luffy for just a hot second, and then Iron Bodied so he wouldn't get absolutely blasted by Kaido.
Yeah, like and especially okay, and this panel makes it more clear because the lines imply that Luffy's trying to struggle, but Dripper is over here holding him back. So this man fought X Drake, got stabbed, said I need to go complete my mission, and here he is completing his mission. And oh, man, Kaido just reminiscing on the fact that like this is the second time now. Like I got a cheap win. How are we feeling about Kaido's character after like these developments? Because I think he gets way more interesting.
That's pretty good. I want to say that he's
Kaido
never had like his own solo win. Like
I think Joe said it best. I think you said it where you're like Kaido has always summoned for the tough fights in Dark Souls.
yeah, like he like it's just
yeah.
It makes it interesting because now he's this warrior spirit and wants to be, but like maybe he just doesn't feel fulfilled that way because every time he's won, there's been some other circumstances that lets him win. You know, like
it's the strongest man on the planet has imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
that's a really cool story beat.
That's why he always wants to kill himself.
Yeah,
that might be so. We're gonna get into maybe why Kaido wants to kill himself, maybe with next chapter, but We'll get all these chapters out of the way, and then we'll start like doing our old theorizing thing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody gives a shit about this at all. They just want to know about this chapter.
Love that chapter. This one's even crazier.
I know.
They did it twice. So Luffy gets smacked, loses his air. So notably, there's another CP0 guy. I always thought Dripper was the main guy.
Yeah.
There's three.
Yeah, but Tall Man over here, because he lasts the longest, I feel like the implication is he might be the leader. I don't know.
What? This is Kaku.
Well, it's Shanks, obviously. That was my prediction. It has to hold true.
I forgot you did say that dumb shit. Awful. Bad boy. So, I don't think the narrator has ever declared Luffy the loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Raid is failing. People are probably losing their minds. I mean,
so I have a question. Is this how fights always end in the manga, where like they have a narrator announce the winner?
I don't even think
it's always to Luffy's favor.
Yeah, I don't think even in like the Crocodile fights where they went 3 rounds and Crocodile beat him twice, they said Luffy loses. It's just
is that I would need to double check. So I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, but like not every fight ends like this, but a lot of the major ones do.
All the big ticket fights end like this. Like
did Katakuri end like? I don't think Katakuri ended like this.
Katakuri ended like this. Yeah, it's always like these big ticket fights that declares the winner. That you have these, and it's kind of like your big signaling, like we're closing out the arc, we're finishing the battle.
I think Doflamingo had it. I feel like I don't know if Crocodile had it. I think that was before this became more popular.
Maybe.
This became more popular around like CP9 era. I feel like, but I would need to double check.
Oda had all those fights lined up, so you need to be like, we're done with this, we're not seeing it, and then
Oda does this for the Straw Hats all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily Luffy, but the Straw Hat fights almost always end with a narration.
No, this was also in Alabasta because we all know fights then and declared like Zoro was the winner, was the first one this happened, and then it was Nami, and then so forth, and then Sanji with Mr. 2.
Zoro won his fight the last, but
or I guess
yeah. So I love how Mr. CP0 is just like, well, I'm kind of tired. I'm not gonna be able to run away from Kaido. I'm just gonna take the L. And boy does he. This boy gets smashed through Onigashima. He's fine. But if he's not fine, this is actually kind of a sad death because I kind of respect this guy from the little amount of screen time he got. I think this is a B tier character, if I do say so.
I like how they're all like tipping their hats.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like a little bit of a camaraderie. Like this guy's like, "Hey, man, better you than me, but I respect."
I think it's a solidarity thing, like you completed your mission kind of deal.
Yeah. If they're all in this kind of unwillingly, if they were all slave children, or clearly they don't fully approve of their missions. I think they made that clear last chapter, but they do it because that's their job and that's how they keep order.
Hang on.
The remainder of the chapter is a lot of characters coming to terms with what's happening. Kaido busting in like nothing and announcing the victory. I like how Law is saying there's nothing left in the tank. Now, what pisses me off is later Law gets up. If Law does a single more attack, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, I need Law to actually be done. Stop telling me you're out of stamina, you little shit. You've been doing this to Stress Rosa, actually.
I mean, he got a break.
But I don't know, man. He went all. If you go all out in a shonen manga, I want you to be out for a couple hours at least. Okay, that's the shonen rule. Marco, always the clutch boy. I do like how Nami stands up for Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice follow up on her saying that Luffy won't give up till he becomes Pirate King, and the face of death. She has really stuck up for Luffy this arc. I also like how Kaido's asking for challengers here. It's just anybody who wants it can get it. So like he still seems fairly healthy. He could probably still take anyone who's up right now. Which
Nah, man, he wants to die.
he wants to die, but no one's gonna
he's
kill
a
him.
Dark Soul boss. The guy died, so he goes back to full health, and that's it.
No one's gonna give him the death he wants.
It's true.
So some of the Law and fucking Kid Pirates actually show up and do a thing for a little scene.
They
here,
always do things. You're just don't hate on those guys.
This is something significant. It's not like, hey, we're hitting someone in the back of a panel. It's like, hey, they're actively protecting their captains. I think that's pretty neat. Weird how they didn't pick Heat or Wire, because I know Heat and Wire, they're the best boys. I don't know who the hell this guy is. Who's protecting Kid?
That's Choir. That's their combined phone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they you didn't know they can fuse? You didn't see it in the back of the panel 200 chapters ago?
You didn't read the SBS?
There's these 4 kids in Big Mom's crew that can fuse into a giant scarecrow-looking thing.
Yeah.
And the only way you can pick it up is by looking at the design of something in the back of a panel while they're escaping the island. It is the most obscure thing. But that's just how it operates. I really like the scene with Yamato and Momonosuke where Momonosuke is actually like, hey, maybe we should just give up. If Luffy's down, we need to surrender or retreat. And Yamato is hard. This made me like Yamato a lot more. She's like, no, bro. You're gonna fucking die with me. I don't care what you say. We're gonna go together. And Mom was like, okay, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
She looks really fierce here. I really like this.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was reading this, one, I was very hungover and sick. 2, I thought this was Nami talking to Momonosuke. I was like, why the fuck are they having this conversation right now?
What the fuck? Okay, I thought you were gonna say I thought this was Kaido. I was like, oh, haha, you fell for it.
So this made me think, okay? I was like, this is a hot take.
Oh god. But
This made me think, because I haven't read as much One Piece manga as you, so I haven't been like, oh, Luffy's gonna get back up. I was like, oh, let's see where the story takes us. Let's see if it goes in another direction. And we have Momonosuke and Odin here, Yamato. And, like, maybe they're the ones that are supposed to finish the fight. That's why Momonosuke had to grow up and actually become, like this big dragon. That's why they're scared of him, Y'all, we know one thing about Odin. Odin wouldn't be Odin if it wasn't boiled.
So where are we going with this?
What if Yamato dies?
Oh, that would be so sick.
It would be great. That is the destiny of Odin.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, that ain't happening. You can't be dead and join the crew unless you're Brook. School joke. But as cool as it is, this homegirl, the whole thing is she's gonna. I feel like I saw a cool post right before we started where someone's like, Luffy's going to help Yamato get over her phase once he rejects the title of Joy Boy, if that's where the story's going. And then Yamato's gonna be like, hey, that's interesting. Like, you are predestined to be this person and you rejected to be your own person, and I am clearly not Odin, but I'm forcing myself to be Odin. Maybe I need to reevaluate how I look at myself. but maybe. We have no idea where this is going. This page is like, hey Joe, you're doing the post time skip stuff to get the panels for the best panels in the series.
Yeah.
So make sure you grab stuff from this page because this was so hype.
That was
First,
wild.
so Luffy's voice has stopped, and when Luffy gets knocked down, let me actually go all the way back just to point this out. When Luffy gets knocked down, we get hit with the shh sound effect, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy for me to overlook sound effects.
That's
and
him
then,
deflating.
That's the thing. I don't like. Shh could be silence, or it could be. To me, it's the sound of dust. Like that's the sound of smoke and dust. So I don't know if this is the sound of his heart going silent. The point is, I do think his heart stopped for a little while there. Whether or not he fully died, depending on your definition of what death is. I don't know how y'all feel. Like, do you think Luffy actually died here?
Well, what if the drums of liberation are the beat of his heart?
Well, it totally is because
He goes
it comes in and then it starts the bump, and then Zunisha hears the bump.
What's interesting is Zunisha can hear it, but not Momonosuke.
That is interesting. Well, maybe it's because like it's coming through the voice of all things, but Momonosuke doesn't know what to make of it. But Zunisha's like, "Oh, I heard this one before."
Yeah, but Zanisha got those big ears.
True. It's all coming together.
Now, this could be Luffy's awakening.
Also, why do Zunisha and Luffy have the same dark-looking eyes in this page?
That is an interesting parallel.
Yeah.
And on the left page, his eyes are starting to glow.
I know. That is so creepy. That is such a cool visual because every time we've seen this damn elephant, its eyes are so shadowy and creepy. And now he's like real shit. He's doing the real shit meme.
So I compared this to Hakuba. Is that the name of the demon that's in Cavendish?
That's a Cavendish.
So I'm like, is this gonna be some weird thing like that, or maybe Joy Boy is some super being, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a god, and Joy Boy can inhabit anyone who carries the will of D.
That's
which
an
is
interesting
why
take.
everybody in the world government wants the people who have the name of D to be gone.
That's a pretty cool take because I haven't heard anyone like phrase it like that. And when Whitebeard says you are not the man Roger was waiting for, that's also interesting. Where it's like you're not worthy of being inhabited by Joy Boy. This is getting spooky because then okay, what the hell is he?
Yeah.
Like a spirit? Are we doing that now?
I mean, we have demons. That's what Hakuba is.
So that's the thing, right? I need to go read. How did they describe Hakuba? Because I always thought it was a split personality, and it's just like they don't have a specific term for it.
But Cavendish doesn't have a devil fruit, right?
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If he did, this would get a lot juicier. So okay, let's get to brass tacks. There's a lot of things this could be.
I like the idea of this is the devil inside of the fruit.
I do like that idea.
That's an idea because like so the way it's first mentioned is Jabra in the CP9. He was the wolf guy.
Mm-hmm.
He brings up that like, hey, if you eat 2 devil fruits, the devils inside them will tear you apart from inside. But he brings it up in a way where like no one takes him seriously, and it hasn't come up since. So in my mind, it was just like, oh, okay, maybe that was just folklore, you know?
Yeah.
But it is so One Piece to like drop something like that, disguise it as folklore, and then have it become real later.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, if every devil fruit has a sea devil and they can emerge like this,
So why isn't more people coming back to life?
why is this the first time it's happened?
Yeah.
But is it?
But is it?
That's just a question because I don't remember everything, so I'm genuinely asking. Is this the first time we've seen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, from my recollection, I haven't seen anything like this in the series.
Let's see. Ace and Whitebeard have their little chest splinted out of themselves. So they are.
Whitebeard had his devils. Like, if we're going to talk about Whitebeard, it would be conceptually Whitebeard had his devil stolen from his inside of his body and placed into another.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the devil could have never come out.
Uh-huh.
If Ace, so like, what are
Ace
the
got fucking donutted, so like, I wonder if there's like a weird like you have to be in a healable state or something like that.
near death? But here's the thing: Luffy's always near death. If you're in
Yeah.
the latter part of an arc, Luffy's at near death.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get a lucky focus sash, not a focus band. Focus sash.
Opposite. That's a good reference, but you flipped them.
Okay.
So what if this is just his awakening? What if this isn't like okay? Joy Boy has returned could also mean like, say Joy Boy / Sun God Nika. So let's say specifically we're gonna say that they're the same person because that's kind of been inferred. Say Sun God Nika is the particular devil who lives in Luffy's devil fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say that by saying Joy Boy has returned, it means that Sun God Nika's true power has returned. It could be read like that.
I think the big part is like the heart beating in the drums. Like I think that's a big thing.
Side note, I hear the drums of liberation is the coolest fucking line. That goes so hard.
Yeah.
That is because like we learned about Sun God Nika as someone who liberates slaves. Like he was a guardian deity of the downtrodden and slaves. And who's who is like when I was in prison, I really wish that person would exist and actually save me. So the drums of liberation really fits that. Okay, let's go away from devil fruits. What do we think if Luffy's legitimately the reincarnation of Joy Boy? Like, this is Joy Boy, and he was always Joy Boy, but it was a hidden part of himself.
It's kind of lame.
Not super into this idea.
I like the idea more that this is a god that's inhabiting his body, and Luffy begins to not like it and is going to argue with the god in himself.
You know
like
what?
Cavendish
That would
and
lead.
Hakuba do.
That would lead to a great conversation because he's going to go like, "No, I can be in your body and lead everyone to freedom." In which Luffy responds, "Okay, but you're then taking away mine."
Yeah.
That'd be cool. This is why like.
But that's not how it would go. Luffy would just go, "No, I can do it."
Yeah, he would also. But
Luffy can be poignant and
Yeah,
he can be selfish.
He'd be like, "What about me? What about my dreams?"
Those lines actually, he would say both of the things you said.
He'd be like, "What about my dream? I want to go do what I want, and you're taking that away from me." Like
this could be such a cool story beat where it's like, Luffy, you're the Joy Boy, you need to save us, and he's like, I am not the Joy Boy. I want to be fucking Pirate King. Like I'm Pirate King, and then he will inadvertently do what Joy Boy wants to do. But I think that was thought in nice thematically, where it's like, Luffy, we put all this on you, and by just being yourself, you did even more than we could accomplish. Like, what if Joy Boy's will is to like eradicate humanity, or like something dark, where it's like it's one of those peace through violence kind of stories. It could very well be that.
Yeah.
What?
It's a good old Ultron, just like I'm good.
Peace in our time.
We even
Ultron.
got a fucking like lifting up like thing in the sky that's gonna drop like a meteor.
Oh my god, we're in Sokovia.
Here's the real question, all right? So this would be the awakening of his devil fruit.
I think this is the awakening part. Like
why?
So he's melting.
Why is Luffy's awakening what brings Joy Boy?
That's the thing, right? Is it because when you awaken, you get so close to the devil in the fruit?
You?
Like,
but
remember, like, Rubber starts off
in Katakuri, like talking with his
But remember, Rubber starts off as like a sap, so it's supposed to be gooey and melty. So like,
it's the thing. We are reasoning that this power is resin.
Yeah.
That way, you don't overwrite the lightning part from Eneru. That's what bothered me. If his fruit wasn't rubber, it's like, well, shit. Like that was kind of lame. Then did you just lie to us back then?
Mm-hmm.
And
no,
yes,
it's rubber. Yeah.
So like being resin, it's like okay, you're always in a rubber, but like I still have to do a couple of mental gymnastics because it's like okay, so you're always in your specific state instead of your natural state, which is a little weird. Either way, though, if he can like, I always thought
Dude,
his awakening would be to make stuff bouncy, but if he can make stuff sticky and bouncy, that lets him do so much.
Yeah.
it has the powers of rubber and gum.
He's bungee gum, dude.
But okay, so here's the thing. All right, we're talking about this going back to his natural state. So, like rubber is not like the natural state of rubber is not able to bend like he was doing the gear 4. So
Well, I see it. I see it like it could because it's like you're a solidified version of that, so you can do whatever. You can do like Kamala Khan / Mr. Fantastic, like stay in your shape kind of thing, as opposed to retract.
yeah, but like everybody who's had devil fruits, nobody's done gears
Yeah.
like Luffy has, really.
That's a good point. How come?
Which is a very shonen thing to have your upgraded forms, but this is also an established power system that has an upgraded form, which are the Awakenings and Haki and Future Sight.
Yeah.
So what if, because Luffy is a good guy, meaning that if he gets closer to the devil, it would be closer to the good guy because all the awakened devil fruits have been bad guys. B, he has already done awakening like 2, 3, 4 times.
He's been awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The thing about awakenings is that it influences the world around you. Like that's a big part of it, except for his own fruits.
His awakening is influencing the people around him, Joe.
No, that's Luffy's awakening, not the devil's fruits.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. I always so like with the Gear 4 bending, in my mind, it's like, oh, he's using muscle contractions, I guess, to redirect the fist midair, like because he's got better control over his muscles. And the reason why he has forearms is because his body can handle weird air shit, and then he can like.
See, but I can also get behind Tyler where it's like Luffy's awakening, but he doesn't realize it is that he's like solidifying or bouncing the air around. Like it's like hitting the air and he's angling it so it bounces in that direction, and that lets him punch in that way.
That'd be cool too. It's just like, would Luffy not be aware of what he's doing? Maybe he's just like, I didn't think about it because I'm Luffy.
Correct. He would
He's
not
an
be
idiot.
aware of what he's doing.
I mean, this man learned how to pump air in his own bloodstream. He kind of knows his body. Like,
It's true. But this is the air, not his
he
body.
can blow air into his bones through his thumb. This guy knows what's going on. I don't know.
How hard do you think he needs to bite to do that? Does he need to bite? Does he just have holes? And like,
I would expect there to be blood after he does it Aaron style, you know, when
Yeah.
Aaron like does his little shh. Anywho. Yeah, like, okay, so I think we're all down for it to be resin. We all like the devil idea. I always love devil contracts. If there's ever like demons and devils in a story, I love the contractual part of it.
mm-hmm.
So it could be that his will and the fruit's will are aligned.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I also tossed the idea that, like, okay, what if devil fruits didn't exist in the Void Century and before then, and all the notable members of the D clan were turned into devil fruits, or like maybe the members of the ancient kingdoms are the devil fruits, and that's or maybe all the people back then were all sea devils, like they're not even human, they're just straight up sea devils. There's a lot of ways that we could take this with the idea of like the Void Century, the existence of sea devils, and the fact that devil fruits might not be a constant in this universe. They could be man-made from the start.
What if like the D is devil for monkey D's and whatever, but like the ones that exist now are the ones that like betrayed the other devils, and the other devils got turned into fruits.
Or the other devils are the celestial dragons. We turned our enemies into fruit.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm gonna need like an explanation to why we turned them into fruit eventually. Maybe they fed them to the big atom tree that like then took their life essence and created like a power system out of. We're getting wild, but also the story is like.
Question: is that Luffy's hair or his hat?
That's his hair.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
If it's the hat's here,
because if you look on the right, page right here.
Oh,
his
he
hat is
doesn't.
behind
Okay,
his
he doesn't
back.
have his hat on. It's on his back. Got it.
I thought the same thing.
If he is a reincarnation, and I saw a Morge video that put this in a good way, the story is so about inherited will.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if Luffy's a reincarnation, how come every other character has to inherit their will through someone? Like, that's such a beautiful thing. A human bond is like, hey, I might not be able to finish it, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Luffy, it's like everyone gets inherited will except for Luffy, who's literally Joy Boy finishing his own mission. It's like, well, that's kind of weird for theming reasons. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. Even if it is that, I hope Oda would play it
I think this is
interestingly.
like the big turning point in One Piece. Like Oda's been building up to. Like we've been sitting here, at least me and Wano, just like Oda hyped up this arc that this was going to be like the arc, right? This is like shit's going to go down here, and this whole time just like it's been pretty status quo.
It's like it was a normal fight. Like it was a fight between pirates, and that was the arc.
Yeah,
for the most part. So like,
and then now we're getting to this point where it's like oh shit's act like Luffy loses, which does not happen.
Yeah.
And now we got
like this is his third time losing. By the way, like this is the most he's lost to anyone.
Yeah. So, it's just, One Piece in 2 weeks is going to be wild.
A different story. We're going to be reading a different story in 2 weeks, which is exciting and scary. But here's the thing.
It's
reading One Piece, how many times have I been like, Oda, I'm not sure I like this. Even in Wano, I've been like, I don't know if I like this plot development. But, like, say Big Mom losing. Actually, now I wish I definitely wish she gets up again, because Kaido's still way too healthy. So it's like, man, is Luffy that much weaker than Kid plus Law, or is Big Mom that much weaker than Kaido? And both of those don't make sense to me. So
it could be also just like that second win. Kaido just like, I'm so fucking pissed. I'm done, and I'm going to.
I do get that feeling. He didn't even. He does a victory roar.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what comes next, right? And the guy doesn't say anything, just boom!
He looks so fucked up as he's saying, like, I could picture him almost crying. It's like, you know what I'm gonna do to you, right?
Oda cannot bring that man back.
No.
That's a Pedro level death. Like, leave that character gone now.
The penultimate chapter of One Piece to have no dialogue. It's just going to be people partying. Every character we've ever seen partying. And there's going to be no dialogue the whole chapter. It's just going to be different scenes. And Dripper Scarfino's going to be in the back.
As it goes.
Chugging back with his other two CP0 bros.
No. That's when they take off their masks and reveal it's Shanks!
Luffy, I'm Shanks. And then the Shanks Luffy was talking to was actually Mr. Two Bon Clay.
Yo! Let's go!
Turns out Bon Clay was Shanks.
And Bon Clay and Paul Down is just a drag queen that's dressed up like Bon Clay. Oh wow, Goda.
Man,
we have to rescue Bon Clay from
so
Down.
My other question, Wano, this is like a weird off tangent, but it's been like itching the back of my mind is like when someone with a devil fruit dies. And they don't become Joy Boy based on the theories that we're making here. When they die, the devil fruit gets put into a fruit nearby. So I'm just wondering what the story of that fruit getting all the way to the other side of the world is.
So, okay. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I have a really interesting theory. Do you remember Shanks is carrying the Gum Gum fruit and visiting Fuchsia Island for whatever fucking reason?
Yeah.
My theory is Shanks wanted to give the Gum Gum fruit to Ace because Ace was Joy Boy. Roger said, hey, my son's going to be Joy Boy. Watch over him when he grows up. Check in on him, but don't make it clear you're going there to see my son because he's being persecuted. Like, Ace is not technically allowed to live. If the world government knew of his existence as a child, they would have killed him as a child. They're very afraid of Roger's bloodline. But then when Luffy eats it, and then Luffy says the same words that Roger once said. We don't know what exactly those words are. It's about like the true dream they want to have that we don't really know in the story. I think my favorite theory is that Luffy wants to have the biggest party in the world or whatever. When he sees that Luffy ate the fruit and has the same words as Roger, he's like, you know what? I was wrong. I hedged my bets on the wrong person. It's not Ace. It's actually Luffy. So from that point on, like Whitebeard grows up with like Ace is gonna be the one. He's gonna be the Joy Boy. He's gonna be the chosen one. And Shanks is actually like, actually, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Luffy, and I'm putting all my stock in him.
But the thing is that Ice wasn't on Fuchsia Island until after Shanks left. Because when Luffy gets introduced to Ace, Luffy already has the fruit.
True, but where was Ace before then? With Garp?
With Garp.
Where was Garp hiding this man?
Garp, I don't know, in a fucking box on the marine vessel he was on.
Box Child Ace. Well, that completely throws my theory out the window. It would have been cool. It would have been fun. But either way, Shanks had the Gum Gum fruit, and if this has Joy Boy's spirit and he somehow knew that, that's pretty sus.
Yeah. So then, I want to know what Roger's power set is. He might have just not have had that fruit or any fruit at all. So like, I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean, he said it was too late. What if he learns about the spirit thing way too late? It's like, hey, by the way, I'm in the Gum Gum fruit. Come find me.
Yeah.
What if the One Piece was the Gum Gum fruit? Whoa, 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 whoa. What if Luffy has eaten the Gum Gum fruit all along? That would be too much.
He did eat Gum Gum fruit. We know that. We just. I mean, the One Piece?
Yeah, whatever it's called, the resin, the tree cum fruit. Gear 5 cum, man.
Yeah. But it, like, the point I was making was that, like, I think there's a lot more going on, like, in and out of Wano over the past few years, with Bon Clay's fruit being literally anywhere else. Unless Bon Clay did some weird adventure out in Wano and didn't tell anybody.
Was it another fruit that traveled from Wano that we know, like, Barrier fruit is also in Wano.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it somehow got out of there. So yeah, so at some point, I think when the Shimotsukis moved, like they escaped the island one time and they set up Zoro's village or whatever, however that worked.
And I guess also if you have a bunch of Kaido goons just carry around shit, they don't realize what they have, and that ends up. Because I can see it, because none of the Kaido guys can eat devil fruits because they're all Zoan pirates.
Yeah.
So they can't eat those. So if they had one, they would have to sell it probably to somebody. So that makes a little bit more sense.
And you know when we were all like, oh man, I don't like this who's plot twist where like Luffy's fruit seems to be special. I think I was pretty afraid of that, but I think it's panning out more interestingly. We're like, I don't think Luffy's power is special. This doesn't take away from what he's accomplished so far. Mm-hmm. It's more of what might be linked to that fruit.
It might be the idea of that fruit.
Could be.
All right. Here, I'm going to leave us with a hot take. Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're good to close here in a little bit.
You know, all right, what's the name of the girl with the fruit, with the cheeks?
Oh, Tama. Who could still be the fruit? We could be getting misled.
So, she does not tame Zoan fruit eaters. Her fruit tames sea devils.
Ooh.
No, because her fruit tames
on the
animals.
On the island.
Fruit tames all animals.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But maybe
I tried, you know.
Maybe, I tried. All right, cool. No, that was good. That was good. I liked it.
I'll stick with
anyways,
Shanks
Momonosuke's going to join the crew. We're all going to have a great time because Momonosuke needs to go talk to Vegapunk. I think. I
can't. Vegapunk made a real ass dragon fruit. I think that might be a hint that devil fruits are all man-made from the Void Century. Just saying. All right. That's good. That's good. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us in One Piece Talk.
Peace out.
Bye-bye. And goodbye to you guys. I gotta take a call.
Why is the One Piece universe like the Pokemon universe where they reference things that don't exist?
Like what?
Like the Arcanine is the dog Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
what are they?
So I guess they have mythology for Buddha and the Phoenix and
maybe. I mean, look. All I'm saying is the One Piece world used to be our world, and they're actually in the far future.
Y'all, I think I broke my Dark Souls game.
Elden Ring?
Yeah, I think I broke Elden Ring.
Why?
Because I'm having trouble locking onto stuff, and I'm one-hitting everything. Not like you know the giant Titan trolls?
Yeah.
The trolls?
The guys with the swords in them that they pull out and do wind attacks.
Yeah, have y'all fought any of the Madness ones?
No.
Anyway, like, they have, like, lots of health, right? I just
Yeah.
one-shot 2 of them by only doing, like, 400 damage.
Maybe turn off your game. I think you're cheating. Now you're actually cheating. I don't know if anyone's gonna dispute that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's super weird. Anyway, I just found a 2 Stone Sword Key Dunk, and I'm gonna go do that.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Enjoy your dinner.
Bye!
Never.